What is up, Allied Rivals fan base? It is now time for the Eastern Conference quarterfinals predictions. Woo!
There it is. You got it right. Let's go.
Got it right this time. And if you want to know why it's such a big deal, I got it right. Go check out the rest of the playlist because it's been a little bit of a struggle for me. But guys, it is now time to talk about the Boston Celtics versus the Brooklyn Nets. Boston Celtics have looked pretty hot all year. They're the number 2 seed, and the Brooklyn Nets have had a different kind of year. Many starting lineups
sure.
with Kyrie and everything, vaccinated, non-vaccinated. Now he can play at home. It's just been really weird with that. And then
KD's
of course the
back.
James Harden, Ben Simmons, KD's back. So everything's crazy. And it is now time for us to give our big predictions. But first, Keisha Heffron's once again in the comments. Thank you so much, Keisha Heffron, for joining us once again.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, you want to take the Celtics? Want to talk about them?
Yeah. And we were talking about this before we actually went live. And here's the reason, and I'm going to put this real quick because I want to give you a prediction. The reason I wanted to take the Celtics is I wanted to make this clear really quick. 2 weeks ago, the Celtics were my pick to win the finals. They have been the hottest team in the NBA since the All-Star break, and it hasn't been close. So it went from the 8 seed to the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference.
True that.
And number 2, they have the number 1 defense in the NBA. Again, it's not even close. Net defensive rating, points rating, not even close. Again, on top of this, they have the best point differential against the top teams in both the East and the West. And again, it's not close. Like, they have 100 points on all the other teams that are top.
All right. Where are we going with this?
But one of the biggest things on their team that they had was Robert Williams being healthy. That was one of the biggest parts of their defense. He was a huge reason about why their defense was so great all year. He was a force in the paint. And now he's not going to be there, which is going to just throw things completely out of whack for the Celtics. Now, don't get me wrong. The Celtics offensively are lethal. They are lethal. Marcus Smart is what in my DPOY. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both drop 20 a night, each just back and forth. Whoever's got the high hand that night. Al Horford still somehow gets 10 a night. I don't even know how old the man is anymore. And of course, Derek White, 13 a night. He's one of the best defenders this entire season. He's been crazy. The Celtics not only have the points to be able to match up with the Nets, they also have the defense to be able to keep up with the Nets. And granted, that's saying that very loosely because Kevin Durant, I don't care who you are, is going to score on you no matter who you are. We all know that. But the Celtics are probably the best equipped team to be able to take down the Brooklyn Nets, especially when they're not at full strength.
Yeah, let me just talk about the Nets real quick. I like a lot of what you said.
Go ahead.
And I think the biggest thing for the Nets is, can they play the defense? Because the Celtics got a nasty big 3, both on offense and defense. But KD and Kyrie just always do it up. And KD and Kyrie, they always do it up on offense. And then you got guys like Seth Curry and Andre Drummond and guys like that coming in on offense, coming in on the boards. But their defense is the one thing I'm looking at here, and that's going to be the biggest factor of this series. And, man, it's going to be crazy because you got Marcus Smart, he's not the most consistent, but let's just say he does what he has to be done. Like, if you need
he's
him
the defensive quarterback. He's Draymond.
That too, and if you need him to get 10 assists that night, he'll do that. If you need him to get 20 points, he'll do that. He's kind of a nice movable piece in the offense. Jason Tatum, one of the best young players in the league. And, of course, Jaylen Brown, he's a monster. He's underrated, in my opinion. The Nets are going to play solid. It would have helped so much if they'd had Ben Simmons, but they don't. And so they're going to play solid, but, I mean, the Celtics are still going to be scoring a ton. And with all that said, I'm picking the Celtics in 6.
In 6.
In
Wow.
6. So I think if it goes to 7, I think the Nets will win. But I don't think it's going to go to 7. I think the Celtics will win it in 6. This is really hard for me to say because I think if it's in 7,
dude, literally,
then KD is just going to go off, go full clutch carry mode, and then it's over. I'm going Celtics in 6. But this is going to be such a good series.
Yeah. This is one for this is the best series in the playoffs right now, for sure. Like out of the first round, it's not even close to me. Sixers Raptors is really good, but and it's so is Warriors Nuggets, but this is the best one for sure.
This is the best.
Like I keep going back and forth because betting against Kevin Durant is a bad idea almost always. I don't know how much you remember. This guy almost literally single-handedly carried this team to the finals with 50% in James Harden and Blake Griffin. And on paper, the team could be better. You've got, Patty Mills hitting 40% from 3 for the year. Joe Harris, unfortunately, isn't going to be there. Andre Drummond's actually been decent, a lot better than I expected he was going to be on the team. Seth Curry is lethal as well, but man, I've gone back and forth on this so many times. But I'm going to go Celtics in 7. And the reason why is because they're going to get it at home. TD Garden's going to be green. It's going to be loud. It's going to be nuts. And look, KD is a silent killer. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's going to be because of Durant or Irving's failure. I think it's because the Celtics finally step up. They've been the team that's been said they were going to be great ever since Kyrie was there for years. And they've never performed up to their full potential. I think this is the year. It's going to be close. Livewire saying Nets in 7. Dude, I was going back and forth between Celtics and Nets before this episode even started in 7.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
It's going to be a good one. Well, guys, I think that's it. AJ, unless you got anything else. Yeah, Harden. Well, Harden left because he was kind of sick of the Kyrie, so many starting lineups deal.
Yeah. And also the fact that the team was never at all there either. People just kept getting injured and the rotations were nuts every single time,
including him. But yeah, that was a big thing too. Yeah, AJ, unless you got anything else, I think we wrap this up and we got our last first round video in a minute.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is going to be the best series. I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be good. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the rest of the playlist, and we'll see you next time on the one and only Allied Rivals podcast.